It's good to see you, man. So everybody's hopping on here tonight. People will kind of come and go as we talk. We're just going to talk and do what we always do. A lot of people don't know this, but you and I spend hours on the phone, man. So we're going to get going at this thing and let everybody else listen to us, I guess. I guess they want to hear what we have to say, maybe. I don't know.
Oh man, some of those conversations. I wonder what the first year was we talked. I can't remember, but it's been a long time now.
It would have been 2012, man.
That's
2012.
okay. That's what I was guessing 12, 13.
Yeah, taking us back. So let's kind of jump in here. So people are going to jump on and off, and they'll kind of stroll in and out. Just so everybody knows on the call, on the podcast, feel free to throw any questions in the chat for myself or for Adam. We'll get to those at the end. We're going to talk a lot of hitting tonight, but if it's questions away from that, just throw them in there, and we'll do our best to give it our best shot. So don't be afraid to throw some stuff in there. So, all right, Adam. So I appreciate you coming on, man. We've been working on getting you on the podcast for a long time, man. I appreciate you and your friendship, man. As we dive in here, though, I do want to start with something really, really important, and that is making sure everybody knows what the Juicy Lucy is and who has the best Juicy Lucy. Are you missing Juicy Lucy's, man?
I do. That's a great question. Who would have it? I've almost been gone too long now.
Oh, you're out of it, man. Yeah, you're out of it.
Now I'm kind of on pizza in Chicago.
Right. Well, I haven't had a Juicy Lucy in years, man. Just so everybody listening understands or watching, a Juicy Lucy somehow they get the cheese inside the burger, and it's basically like a cheeseburger. But I still have some theories on Matt's Bar and how they do it. I think they use maybe a little bit of cheese and mayo. I think there's something else that they add with it. So it's a really famous burger from Minnesota. You see them elsewhere now, but started in Minnesota. Adam and I started both together in Minnesota as I started my company, and you were at Minnesota State Mankato. Let's dive into that, man. Let's talk about your background. You and I have known each other for a long time, but let's talk about your background. Let the listeners know more about you and how you got to the University of Illinois.
Yeah, background goes a long ways. I think it takes you back to playing college baseball, and I think I'm actually armed for recruiting because of my college experience. So I started out at wasn't good enough. Not one Division I offer out of high school. Went to junior college for 2 years. After junior college, I went to Iowa State, who no longer has a program anymore.
Even after you were there and everything that you guys accomplished, huh?
Yeah, so I was a junior. I was there 1 year, and we got the call and said, if you have a meeting in the Jake, like 1 o'clock, something like that, right? And it was if you have class, skip it. And we're like, wow. We never get that message. So wow. Got it. They said the program was done. So then had to transfer, finish my my college career at Wisconsin, Milwaukee. Enjoyed my time there. Then had to figure out what I was going to do next. I wanted to coach. So I went and was a grad assistant at Minnesota State Mankato, but was getting done with that, and coaching jobs are not easy to find. So decided to go a different route, ran Ripken baseball out in Baltimore, Maryland for 2.5 years, almost 3 years. It gave me a great perspective on the youth and just some different ways of teaching through, back then Cal and Bill were very involved. So got to be around them, other big leaguers, and just learn. And then when the head coach at Minnesota State retired, the assistant brought me back. And then I was at Minnesota State for 7 years. And now I've been at Illinois for going into season 11.
Man, I didn't realize it's been it's been a minute, right? Like
long time.
It's crazy, man.
Yep.
Yeah, you've now been there a lot longer than you were at Minnesota State. And for anyone listening that doesn't know, or anyone watching that doesn't know, I mean, that's a top 5 to 10 Division II program in the country, right? So you got a lot of really good experience there because you still brought in very high level talent. So you were trying to win national championships, right? It wasn't like you guys didn't lose a lot. I mean, you were in a winning program, a winning culture. Going back though, I mean, it's a powerhouse program going way back. Like they've done a great job for years and years. So probably helped prep you a lot for the culture side of it. Where I mean, you guys won so much. Like, just get used to it, right?
It was huge in my career. I mean, I was graduate assistant, and Dean Boyer, legendary coach, was still coaching there. Then when I came back, Matt Maugers took over, and we were fortunate enough to go to the World Series for my 7 years there. So it was culture was a huge thing there, and I think it still is. From I always peek in. You're away more and more now, but I still peek in, and excited for those guys and the success they have.
Well, and then transferring it to the University of Illinois, what was, we've talked a little bit about this obviously as friends, but talk a little bit about that transition, right? The transition as the recruiting coordinator at a Division II powerhouse, and then jumping to a Power 4 program and being the recruiting coordinator and hitting coach. Like that's a big, there are separations there, right? That there's some changes, but talk a little bit about that. What was that transition like for you?
Yeah, I think it was tough at first because I think right away you open your eyes, you're like, okay, can I do this? What am I doing? And then you realize that no matter what level you're at, the bases are still 90 feet away. The mound 60 feet, 6 inches. Either you can hit or you can't, or you got some things to work on. So when you step back and you look at it, the baseball and evaluating part didn't scare me. It was the fact that I think in Illinois you have to learn Chicago. I always say that's a little different animal sometimes. Just getting around the recruiting ways there. I think you had to learn Chicago a little bit was the biggest thing I had to do. And you just had a bigger reach than you did at Mankato.
Yeah, it makes sense, man. I mean, you have this when you talk about the sports and the reach, the brand recognition, it changes obviously state to state when you're at a big school like that. So yeah, it's a huge change. A lot of that. I mean, you've done a great job there. You guys have had a ton of success. So, I mean, you've done an amazing job, man. Everywhere I've gone, and we've talked about this as friends too, but I mean, you're in my opinion, I think you're one of the best evaluators I've been around. If there's anyone that I want an evaluation from on a player side, I think you're a really fair evaluator. And when you're a great evaluator, that translates to Division II, Division III, Division I. Evaluation is evaluation, right? Like
still baseball.
It's baseball. Maybe the players that you're looking at are a little bit different, but evaluation is still evaluation. So I think a lot of you on that side, I really respect you as an evaluator, and I think you've done a great job on that side. And there are a lot of other things. I think you're a great human and all that too, but the foundation of building a great team and culture is finding the right talent and finding the right makeup. And I think you're really good at both of those. So anyway, a lot of success at Illinois. Let's talk a little bit about hitting, man. We've talked a lot about this stuff and more, but I'm excited to dive into this with you tonight. So, okay, let's talk about just straight up hitting wise. What are some of the things you look for when you go out to evaluate or when you have a camp? What are the things that you're drawn to with the hitters that you see?
Yeah, I think there's a couple things in a camp setting or in a game setting. I think it's different. First off, when you talk hitting, and I always get this point across to our guys, to anybody. My son's in 4th grade and 10, so I can use him a lot tonight. And my daughter's in 9th grade and plays softball. So when you look downtown a big building and you see floor 16, that can't be there without a really good floor 1. So when you talk hitting and what you want to do, for me, it all starts in the ground and the base and how they use the ground and how balanced they are. So that number one before I talk anything is It's as simple as this with young kids. It's guard a guy in basketball. Okay, let's start from there with your stance, and then let's move on. But I think the biggest thing you're going to look for in hitting, let's take a game portion of it, is nowadays you want to look at how many times they swing and miss in the strike zone, and how many times they chase outside of the strike zone. So you can teach mechanics, you can do some things mechanically, bat speed wise, you can increase it a little bit. But I think the biggest thing that you need to really realize is that as you go up levels, those numbers are going to increase. So if it's a high chase rate guy in high school, you're going to have a tougher time in college. And it's just like that. Every level you go up in the minor leagues to the big leagues, it's the same thing. So the old adage is swing at strikes and take balls. That goes a long ways.
Yeah, it does. It's so good, man. It's so good.
Assistant coach here always asks this question: What's the toughest pitch to hit in baseball? It's always the best one. Everyone's like, slider, good changeup. No, it's a ball, something you can't hit. It's a ball. You're going to get yourself out a lot. So we work really hard at that here at Illinois. Is just being able to control the strike zone.
Oh man, that's you're speaking my language here, man. I'm a big fan of plate discipline. For anyone listening to who might coach, have kids, obviously that play, as a lot of people listening do. This starts at a really young age. So for me, when you talk about the basics of hitting, you're trying not. I don't love getting into a bunch of hitting mechanics with like a 6-7-year-old, right? Like just let them go swing. But eventually you can actually start to train them and get them to really try to stay within that zone. And honestly, Adam, as you see it, it's tough because when you go to pitchers are pitching for the first time, right? Instead of like coach pitch or something, it's scattered, right? So what do you want to do is you want guys to go up there hacking. And it's like, hey, just go up and swing. And I get that because you're trying to get the game moving and all that. But it really can develop some poor habits with plate discipline and chasing outside of the zone when they're really young. So that's one thing that's really tough about youth baseball is if there's, that 10 to 13, there's a lot of balls. And if you go up there, you got to be so patient, but you're essentially trying to train yourself for plate discipline for the rest of your life. And if you move away from that early, it's hard to corral that back later. Let's talk about that. What do you do to help someone that comes in that does chase a little too much, does lack plate discipline? What are some of the tactics that you use as a hitting coach?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing you ask, and you can start from the youth levels, and I'm guilty of this sometimes with youth groups as well. When you go into practice and hitting, it's like, okay, get as many swings as you can, correct? We only have 45 minutes of hitting, half hour of hitting, swing. And I ask people this: do you take more pitches or swing at more pitches throughout the bulk of a season? It's probably you end up taking more pitches.
Yeah.
But you don't work on that. Nobody works because we want to get our swings in.
Yep.
So we always, every day, there is a portion of hitting that is ball strike. Okay. Sometimes it might be hit the fastball, take the breaking ball. Now we're lucky to have programmable pitching machines and some of that stuff that you can change the pitch no matter what. But as a thrower, you have to be able to bounce one, throw one way out, make it obvious at first that, hey, this isn't swing practice. This is hitting practice, right? We're going to hit that ball in the zone. And if it's not there, let's take it. And as coaches, you just have to be okay with them getting 6 swings instead of 12 swings.
That's a good point, man. Yep.
And I think that's where the discipline comes from a little bit. I'm a big believer in the golf wiffle balls and a PVC pipe, a broomstick, whatever it is. young age on up. I just think any hand-eye coordination activities you can do will help with strike zone.
I love that, man.
You know, and
I love it.
the last thing I think they got to know the plate. There's those 7-ball mats. I mean, you can cut baseballs in half and put them on a board and label them 1 through 7, and you're working with 2 hitters. You know, as that comes across the zone, they have to say what number ball it's at, and the hitter behind, if he says 3 and it's a 7, like, no, that was a 7, and continue to learn the width of the plate and what they can do.
Oh, that's so good, man. So good. So clearly you can train that in some aspects, right? There's a lot of ways to get to that, but it's really difficult, right? So as you're going out, you're seeing hitters, and you see a lot of chase, right? Like you had said this, and it's, I mean, now we can see it at your level on the pro side. We used to look at it all the time. When you get into that chase percentage, you know, it's like, man, this is going to be tough though. If they chase this much now, the stuff's just going to get better. So let me just let's move on from that. Those are some great drills. Obviously you can train for that. You can start looking at some things early. I do encourage coaches, parents, anything for the youth level and above. I do encourage parents to take a strong look at that, coaches a strong look at that. And what are we trying to accomplish in this round, right? So if it's just firing away, an example, you use your daughter in softball. It was my daughter's first year in softball last year as an 7-year-old.
Oh boy.
And they were firing, you know, with the machine pitch thing. And we were not, I didn't set it up, you know, no offense to any of the coaches that I coached with or whatever, but the pitches were not getting to the plate. It was inaccurate, and we were just firing through, right? Yep. And so the kids are up there just kind of swinging, and I was like, hey, let's take a pause here, guys. Like, what are we trying to accomplish here? Because these balls are all over the place. Like, they're not even getting good swings in. Is this benefiting them at all? And so we paused, and we actually kind of scrapped what we were doing completely, because it's like, I actually think they're better off not getting any swings than seeing this all over the place right now. Like, if we can't figure it out, because there was some other technical issues with it. So just keep that in mind. Like, what are you training? What are you trying to accomplish? You know, I'm not there to like make my daughter a USA softball player, but I think we all have a little bit of a responsibility to understand what are we trying to accomplish with this drill. Like, most of them are probably not playing college softball there. That's not my concern, but it is like, well, if we're trying to teach them how to hit, this is not helping because they're chasing balls all over, you know? I mean, that's not going to help us. So, all right.
No, it's not. And I think that goes farther at any of the youth parents that might be on here is, you know, when you get all the parents, they don't have to be technical. You can put them behind a screen and tell them to flip, and then you just take the best one. That's your new assistant coach. Right? And the other one goes and sets the ball on a tee. You're going to help in this station.
Yeah.
So, yep. You just tryouts. You have tryouts for the players. Why don't you have tryouts for the coaches?
I love it, man. I love it. It's 100% true, man. Get some other hands in there helping you out.
Yeah.
Okay. So I want to look at this. So obviously in seeing hitters, one of the things that you're looking for, any evaluators looking for, is what is the response like when they fail, right? So what do you look for in a hitter when you see them fail? Maybe a tough day, tough at bat, tough situation that they failed in. What are some of the things that you look for in that, Adam?
Well, I think but you're always going to see them fail. It's always going to happen in baseball, right? So I think there's a couple things to look for. I think the body language. How do they treat their teammates after that? How do they treat their coaches? What's the hustle? Does he take it out on defense with them? I think all those mental things is what I'm looking for. And to be honest, and it sounds bad, sometimes I'm going to games to watch some of these guys. I want to see them fail. Mm-hmm. So I want to see them fail. I want to see them how they react. I want to see what they do when they, you know, what do they do that next at bat? Yeah. Right? Do they look like they're confident going back up there? Like, hey, I got out that last time, but it ain't happening again. So to me, it is a lot of just body language and what they're made of, what
Yeah.
their DNA is. If they're throwing stuff in the dugout, their teammates are moving away from them. That's not a guy we want.
Yep.
He may be very good in that, but that's not. We'll move on to the next guy.
I
So
like that, man.
just looking for all controllable stuff by the kids too.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you hit on something that I think is really important though, is, and this is maybe a whole nother discussion itself, but that unshakable confidence.
Mhm.
I mean, to be a great hitter, it almost has to be at a level that's a little bit naive. That's how great the confidence has to be. It's like, really, really struggling, but it just stays and stays and stays for a long time. And every hitter has ups and downs with the confidence. But I mean, you hit on that, and that's a really important thing that I think a lot of people don't talk about a lot. But do you want to just talk about that and how you help your guys with their confidence in a really tough, grueling, high-level Division I season? What are some of those conversations like that you have with your hitters?
Yeah, I think it starts from day one in creating routines and building blocks. Something through the good days, through the bad days, they do that every day. Okay, it could be a tee routine, a flip routine, a different routine in the cage. But I shouldn't know if they were 0 for 4 with 4 strikeouts or 4 for 4 with 4 homers the next day when they go in there, because I think sometimes we kind of get caught up in doing like chasing a drill when they're struggling. When in the first thing you need to do is step back, and it goes back to chase and swinging. Okay, are they swinging at the right pitches? They swung at that 3-2 slider in the dirt, but they took that 0 fastball right down the middle. It wasn't the 3-2 slider that got them out. It might have been getting your swing off on that 0 pitch. So I think you got to look at what swings they're pitching at or they're swinging at, and then are you on time? If you're swinging at the right pitches and you're on time, then I'll look mechanical.
Okay.
But usually 9 times out of 10, because everyone's got a little bit of a different swing. Okay. But if 9 times out of 10, it is they're swinging at bad pitches, they're getting themselves out, or it is they're late, they're early, off balance, whatever it may be. But if not, there has been some guys where they're just straight cutting themselves and can't get their barrel through it and slicing a lot of balls, rolling a lot of balls over. Then we'll go back and we'll go mechanically.
Okay.
And we'll do drills and steps for that. But throughout a season, changing a mechanic really quick in a college baseball season can be tough. Because you're playing on Tuesday, you're going to the weekend, you can do some things to help enhance it, put them in the right position. But for them to overall get that new mechanic or swing path or something, that's going to take some time. And some reps. Yep. You're not going to do it on Thursday and then you got it on Friday. So, right. It just isn't going to happen.
Yep. Yeah, that's really good insight, man. That's good insight. What, as we kind of look at just as we move this conversation into the pressure situations, right, around the topic, I'm just going to start with this one. What have you seen in the differences of players and their ability to kind of be in those situations when we talk about high school versus club baseball now? As there's not as many pressure situations, if you will, from a team aspect and a game outcome aspect on the club side. What are you looking for between those two? Like when you go to a high school game and a club game, obviously the intensity can be different in those. Pressures are different, maybe performing in front of college coaches or something, but from an outcome standpoint, it is very different. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I think the pressure, I think kids are under more pressure in general nowadays. First off, because of phones, because of social media, because everything is at the tip of their finger. And I think it's a little self-induced because they pick up the phone and they're like, oh, look what that kid over there did. I didn't do that today. So we have to be careful on the youth, I think, just because they do have a lot of pressure. Yep. The biggest thing I think when talking to even my son who's 10 or my daughter that's in ninth grade, I try and turn it positive. Pressure is a privilege. You are in that spot because you're good enough, because you get to play on this team. So first off, let's step back there. You're going to fail. It's baseball, it's softball, it's whatever it is. The old adage, you're going to fail 7 out of 10 times. It still is there, right? But I think you got to turn that and spin baseball is, how did you help your team today? Okay. Well, I saw 6 pitches. I know I got out, I struck out, but I saw 6 pitches. That my next teammate was able to see all his pitches. Okay. We got to find little wins, because we all want to look at the stat book and say I had 3 hits tonight, and that's not going to happen. Okay. Did you move a runner over? Did you do that? So the pressure comes from just going 3 for 3 or striking out 10, not walking anybody. That it's all numbers and stats. So when you have your team, your kids, how do you create a system where it's not based on 3 for 3 or 0 for 3 that day? Okay. How did you help your team today? You know what? I might have just kept the energy in the dugout, but I was terrible. I was 0 for 3 with 3 punches. But you know what? I kept them up, and it's tough to do. You gotta spin that a little bit. And at the college level, it does get tough. These guys, they got scouts, they got social media, they got people all over them, and there's nobody that wants to perform better than themselves.
Yep.
So we have to remember that. I always tell, pressure is a privilege.
I love that.
And
man.
if you are prepared, there's no such thing as pressure. Okay. You were prepared for that situation. You know what? You didn't get a hit that situation, right? You hit it. It's 9-on-1. It's really tough to get a hit. Okay. There's no other sport where you're 9-on-1.
Yep.
Okay. So you just got to kind of, fight the little fights within it, and find the little wins in baseball that will help. They're like, yeah, I can do that. I know I didn't get a hit. It's going to seem hard at first, but until you instill, hey, maybe you made a great play defensively.
Yeah,
but I didn't get a hit. It doesn't matter. You know what?
Yep.
You might get 3 hits tomorrow and make an error and lose. You might go for 3 or 3 strikeouts and make a play and win a game. Okay, so ultimately, you just got to keep finding the little wins and the pressure, and it is harder. It's really easy to sit here and talk about.
Yeah.
It's tough, right? It is. It's flat out tough with pressure and kids now. But I think the big thing is being able to put your arm around and say, I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
No matter what happens, the college guys, the kids, wherever it is, I'm proud of you. Let's go get it again tomorrow.
Yep.
It goes.
That's so good, man.
It goes a long ways.
Yeah, it's interesting that you say that, because there's different styles of coaching, and obviously the professional level is different. They're pros, and things are different, but it is kind of interesting where sometimes it is simple as encouragement and like letting them know you still believe in them when times are tough, right? Yeah. Like, and I don't know if I was watching a football documentary, and it's kind of getting sidetracked a little bit, but I'll go here while we're talking about it. It's a great documentary. It's on Jerry Jones and the Cowboys. It's a Netflix documentary. It's a 6-part series. And they were talking about Jimmy Johnson and like what made him such a great coach. He was really tough on his guys, but they had little clips in there. So practices were super hard. They had never experienced that before there. They had lost there for a little while before he got there. They were losing when he got there. And so the practices were super hard. He did the old fashioned, like 2 days and like that, where they weren't used to that. So anyways, it was really tough. So it wasn't about him being easy on them. But you'd see these little parts in there where he'd tell guys how much he believed in them, and he would like look in their eyes and talk about like, this is like when we win a Super Bowl, you're going to see it, like you're going to be a part of that. And like there were these little nuggets where you watch it and you're just like, man, I can see why everybody loved him.
Yep.
You know, like he just, it was that, I don't want to say it's that simple, but like without that aspect of his coaching game, whether it's baseball, football, whatever, like without that aspect, he probably doesn't get that little edge with those guys. That's like, you know what, I'll run through a wall for this guy. It's hard. It's really hard. But you look, you know, we're how many years past it, and you got guys on there talking about how much they love the guy. Like, it's those little things that I just sometimes can go missing a little bit in coaching. And sometimes it's, as you know this, Adam, like, it's different, but like obviously your level is super high level. It's not like you're going to be able to walk around like being the, you know, encourager guy the whole game or something like that. But we do get lost in it sometimes at any level because there's so much going on, right? I think of like a coach coaching a 12-year-old little league team when there's 15 kids, and like there's just a lot to like kids to get in the game. And so those are some little things though that you can't forget about because they're so important, you know, like with the kid that's struggling, just telling them, hey, you're going to be fine. Like, I still believe in you. Like little things like that, man. And I'm not a coach, but you've always done an amazing job pulling every ounce out of your hitters. Like, it's amazing, man. Like, it's, and I think that's a big aspect of it is the personal relationship side of it that you do such a good job with, that a lot of people just don't see that. And that's a feel thing within the game and within your season and how to approach those conversations. But such good stuff, man. Go ahead, Adam.
I just think that you don't get anywhere with a player until you have his trust. Until you have a trust and that you're working, you know, for me, it's a two-way street in communication. You know, I'm not going to say, hey, do this and walk away. Why? Let's talk through it. What's your feel? What do you feel? Well, this is what I see. Try that. And I'll just be like, dude, I was wrong on that. That ain't going to work for you. Right. He goes, yeah, and then we'll laugh together, and then they'll try this. And there is no one right way. Sorry, hitting Twitter out there or whatever, hitting X or whatever, where they all want to be one. There is no one way. I mean, watch big league swings. Nobody's the same. Right.
Yep. You're right.
So just get individuals to trust and communicate back and forth, and then you can build your swing, you can build your player. You know, it's not always going to be a straight roadmap up. There's going to be a lot of bumps, but you're in it together then.
Yeah, it's so good, man. It's more like a galvanizing approach of being there every step of the way sort of thing. But let's talk a little bit about the box though. So when a player is in the box, you know how we term it as a pressure situation. Let's just say, you know, it's one of those classic 2 outs. You're watching a high school kid, runners on second and third. It's a big game. He's coming up. What are all the things that you're looking for as he's in, you know, he's in the on deck circle to like once he gets in the box? What are you looking for to see how comfortable he is in that moment?
Yeah, I think you kind of start on the on deck circle. You can kind of just see the way they stride, the way they're trying to time the pitcher. Like, are they locked in on this, or are they kind of walking around sheepishly, like, oh man, don't get me up right now? So I think it starts right there, just the hunger of wanting it, like in their eyes when they walk up to that plate ready to go. So I do think it starts in the on deck circle a lot. Like I've came back here and I've said, dude, this guy is basically running to the batter's box because he wants to hit. And you know there's a lot of self-belief.
Yep.
And it's tough to teach. I know people want to know, how do you teach that? I don't know. It's tough. Each person is different. Some just have it, some don't. And then you have to build it through a process. And then in the box, you know, how well did they take a pitch? Okay. Were their feet all over the place? Was it nice and smooth? Did they get in a good position and was it yes, no to a ball? Or was it like, okay, maybe, and a half swing? So just little things like that. I think it's harder to put into words than when you see it in a picture. But, you know, the old adage of if you go and watch a game and a guy is wants to hit every pitch. Yes, yes, and the no late and a good take. I think we've talked about this before. Sometimes a good take will tell you more about a hitter than a swing.
Yep. Awesome stuff, man. Awesome stuff. And what you were really, a part of what you were touching on is you start seeing, as an evaluator, you start seeing the approach in the on deck circle, just with their comfort, how relaxed they look, and you can see it in the eyes, you can see it in their body language, just with a calmness. Sometimes there's like a little bit of a fired up, but like you said, man, the thing that I want to hit on that I think is so important is all of that is key. And then when you get in the box, do you chase? Because you're over anxious. Like, are you truly comfortable, or are you trying to make something happen now because that situation is a little bit more action packed and more pressure packed? And that's really where, like you said, man, it's tough, because as you look at like the development of hitters, they need to be in those positions, right? And then it becomes learning moments of, hey, like you got in that box and, your zone completely changed. Like you were wanting to do too much, or, hey, you got a good hitter behind you and you had first base open. Like, hey, it's okay to, if you walk there, if they're rolling around you, right, pitching around you a little bit. So like, it's all of that stuff that goes into it too. But you defined it perfect, man. I want to ask you this, as you kind of like, you talked about getting comfortable in those situations. How much mental work do you guys do to help them prepare for those sort of situations?
Yeah, I like to ask a kid to be really good in a 2-strike count and never practice. It's like, I mean, telling, hey, I'm gonna skydive. I've never done it, but good luck. Jump off the cliff. Like you can't, and it counts. I know there's some questions about counts and that I saw too, but it's like if you don't practice it, the big thing for us right now, it's a programmable machine. Yes, you can do it off an arm too, mix, throw a little wrinkle curveball in there and a fastball, but we're doing a lot of 2-2 count stuff, right? Yep. So you have 2 strikes, but the pitcher, he can go to 3-2 yet, right? So if you get to 3-2 and you take your walk, now, I mean, that's big. Our guys celebrate when we take a walk. Okay. And then they fight to put it into play. But if you don't put people in situations, you can talk about anything. You can talk about approach. You can talk about accounts. You can talk about situations. But if you don't practice them and do them over and over, then they're not prepared. Then you have pressure.
Yep.
So the bottom line is take all those things and start applying them in practice, instead of just giving them a round of 6 in BP or a round of 3 rounds of 10. Like, start adding those situations. And you know what? It's okay to go 3-2 count. Here it is. And if you bounce it for a ball 4, walk, go out, start again. The next person. You don't have to hit. You have to win those situations. And you know what? That kid that might have been in a slump, guess what? You don't know if he just won a couple 3-2 situations in practice and walked. Does he feel really good about himself and come out of it?
Yeah.
Don't know, right? And he never had to swing the bat, because we know if you swing it, a lot of the times you get out.
Yeah.
So there's little things like that. But I think you have to practice all the situations, or bottom line, it just equals pressure then.
Yeah.
Because you're not prepared. So the whole mindset of the topic is, if you have something and you want to do it, but you don't practice it, that's on coaches then. That's on us. Like, hey, we need to be better in 2-strike counts. Well, then what did you work on? Right? Then work on it so you're a little bit better. And not to dive in a rabbit hole of 2-strike counts, but a lot of people talk about, hey, you got to protect. Man, that pitcher still has to come in that little box 9 times out of, maybe not 9, 8 times, hitters expand. And that's usually when the strikeout comes. Like, put a little box behind home plate and be like, he didn't come in there. That's ball 4, or that's now you've got yourself from 1-2 to 2-2 or 3-2. And really, it sounds dumb, but you can almost shrink the zone.
Yeah.
Right. We all want to expand it, but they still have to come in there. We expand it too much where that ball turns into probably strike 3. And we're like, oh, we're striking out too much. No, we're chasing. Yeah. We're chasing balls that would flip counts and turn odds.
So good, man. So good.
The biggest thing you can do as a young kid is just learn the strike zone, learn the plate, know where the ball crosses it. That 7 ball, like just the people that have the ability to say that was a half ball off the plate and be right a lot, they're your best hitters.
Yeah.
And I don't even care what the swing looked like.
Yeah.
We haven't even got to that.
Oh man, it's so good, man. It's so good. You hit on so many things there that I wish I could like wrap it all up. But I'm with you, man. I think here's the other thing that protects the plate does to me. It changes the mindset in a defense. And to me, when you're defending yourself, you're losing, right? I mean, that's kind of a saying. And so when we go to like, I just have to protect now. Now I'm in like, I need to defend mode. Like that's not an offensive, like you're now taking away your game and you're saying, okay, I don't care what my approach was, what I was looking for, what I was trying to do up here. Now I just have to sit here and react because I'm defending here. That's really what it does say. And like you were saying it, and I've actually, we've talked about a lot of this stuff, but the thing that you said tonight that I've never heard you talk about that I think is just genius is just that you can actually start thinking of it as like this, the zone actually shrinks. Because if you do lock in, it's like, okay, now I have 2 strikes and now I just have to like be laser focused on the strike zone. It is kind of that way. And as you know, Adam, like I've been on that mound before, and it's certainly not that easy to just pound strikes either, especially to a good hitter. So even if you're up 1-2 or something like that, well, you throw a ball, that's 2-2. That's even now. Like you're not, like you just have to kind of think of the other side. We can always think of the hitter being in the, the worst spot, or the pitcher being in the worst spot, or whatever, how we want to do that. But ultimately when you're up there, you have a job to do. So here's one of the things I want to hit on that I think is really important, that for me, it's something that I wrote down, but self-awareness before big situations is really big. So I'll give you my example for me. I'm a big time competitor. I played with a lot of emotion. It was very normal for me to love those situations, but also get up there wanting to do a lot right away. So the self-awareness as I matured as a player, got to college, was I would really try to tone it down. So what I was hearing in my head, like I would even choose walk-up songs that were not as ampy, that were more like a rhythm based, like because I wanted to hit that plate. I want to hit that box and feel like I was in a calm state. Right. Mm-hmm. And so it's having that self-awareness to be like, and this is another thing I'll say for me, not that I wasn't aggressive on the first pitch, but I was very picky because I did not want to give my at-bat away in that first pitch when I was too antsy. So after that first pitch, I feel like I'd settle in a little bit. Even if it was a strike, I felt okay with that because now I can settle in and I feel good. All those little jitters are gone and now I'm just focused. So all of that stuff, as a hitting coach, it's obviously you're going to see all that. But as we talk about all the hitters and the coaches that are listening and the parents that are listening and the players, the self-awareness is key too. Like you have to understand what you are as a hitter and what your tendencies are. And if you can grab those, Adam, that didn't change for me since I was 8 years old.
Yep.
Like that's how I was. Like, So as soon as I realized, like, wait a second, I think I can be more effective in a calm state versus like go up like I'm in a football game. It just like it transformed me, right? Like it was just different. You want to talk a little bit about that and that self-awareness and how you guys try to pull that out of hitters?
Yeah, I think that's huge. Some the guys maybe like yourself, they don't realize it right away. They're just amped. If it's not the stereotype, if it's a football guy, if it's a wrestler, if it's a hey, I'm gonna go get it, right? And there's one guy was like, dude, you are banned. You are not swinging at 0-0 pitch today. Like he got himself out, I don't know, however many times in a row. I'm just like, dude, Stop. No, I don't. It can be middle. You're not swinging at it. Not
That's
at all
funny.
right now. You're done. Okay. And all of a sudden he started seeing a couple pitches. He started getting the strike zone back. And then he was able to handle the bat and do some things. And I think that goes back to each person's mentality is a little different.
Yep.
So I'm tough to stereotype one way. There is some guys that are calm and collected, and some of them that you're like, dude, is he even into this? Does he even like the game anymore?
Yeah.
Right? So there's those guys out there, but 9 times out of 10, you're usually trying to pull guys back, and they get in their own way. I think a big thing they forget about is just breathing.
Yeah.
You know,
Yep.
with pitch clock in college baseball now, you don't give signs at third anymore. Everybody's got the wristbands and the stealing. You know, some of those signs on there, it's not hit and run. It's like, hey, take a deep breath.
Yep.
It's slow down.
Yep.
See the ball up. It's just little cues like that. So they can just, hey, maybe they like, oh yeah, I got you. Just take it easy. Let's go back. And instead of, hey, he's going to throw you a curveball. He's going to throw you a fastball. Hey, look away. You got to hit the, no. Hey, take a deep breath, see it and hit it. Just small mental cues. And I think you start learning with your team as you do that, what works for each player. And some of them, you know, hey, see it up. Some of them, you have to be, hey, go attack this thing, man. The guys that are just kind of laid back and reserved. Others are, hey, man, in a game you got more adrenaline. Really see this ball deep today, man. It comes there, see it deep, and go get it. So I just think it's, as you're starting to see with me, there's no one way.
Yeah.
And I think our goal is to get everybody to their ceiling and then figure out where the next ceiling is. So you have to have different approaches with each person.
I love that, man. There's so much to this, but I mean, when you really break it down, the goal is to simplify, right? I mean, that's what you're trying to do, is to simplify. And I just wrote a few things down here as you were talking before, but essentially in the on deck circle, right, it's visualization, right? There's some deep breathing. You're trying to see it happen before you get up there. You're trying to calm that stuff. Preparation, as you hit on, you're the one that talked about that. I mean, if you're prepared, you're ready. Like you have to be confident in the preparation, the perspective. So like just appreciating the moment. How many times, I don't know about you in your career, man, like this would be something I'd love to ask you. Sometimes just a smile to appreciate where you're at in the game or what's going on can really deflate a situation too, man. It's just like, this is great. Like, man, this is great. This is what I love to do. This is where I want to be. And just kind of soaking it in that way. Do you want to talk a little bit about that and how your playing experience plays into some of your coaching too?
Yeah. I think, similar to yourself, I was a try hard. I thought trying hard got you anything. Like if I tried harder, I would be better. And that's not really it. It's working smarter. Okay. Man, I'm not hitting the slider. Why ain't they throwing me a fastball? I hope they throw me no, they're going to throw me sliders because I'm not good at hitting them. Right. So like starting to work smarter, is some of the stuff I learned a lot from my playing career. Failed enough. So, I think some of the things I learned was, just to not be so stubborn.
Okay.
Like I'm not good in this situation. What? Let's work on it. Let's step back here and work more on it. Why am I not good? Why? Because I'm amped up and I want to bum rush a fastball. Okay. So now we have to do things in practice that are a lot tougher. And I think that's a big key. I know I'm going to go kind of full circle here a minute, but I think the big thing is that practice has to get tougher. We all want to give them feel good times. Hey, get your swings in. But if we keep making practice tougher, games will get easier. If we just want to keep throwing them the regular balls down the middle, games are going to still be tough. Okay. They got to fail in practice. And when they fail in practice, when you fail, you learn.
Yeah.
Okay. That's the goal anyways. Not everybody does, but when you fail, you learn. And I think that just leads them to go into being more prepared.
Awesome, man.
And that's where I failed a lot. Everybody does in baseball failed. And I think you just share some experiences, defensively too. I told the story the other day to a bunch of kids. I used to sing, Mama told me there'll be days like this when I was when I had an error. You have to get some kind of routine that gets you out of it. Otherwise, it just eats you up. But to go back in the coaching world, a smile, a joke, an arm around somebody, man, that was pretty bad. And he starts laughing because I know. I go, man, thank goodness you're going to get another one. So get up, go play defense. It's you've got to be able to laugh at yourself. And I tell our guys that too. You got to be able to laugh at yourself because you're going to make a bad mistake sometime.
Yep.
Right. But let's learn from it and be better the next time.
So good, man. So good, Adam. I appreciate all this, and it's fun to just be able to talk through all of this. There's so many good pieces in all this. I mean, obviously we could talk about this stuff for hours as we sometimes do, but let's get to the questions, man. There's some really good questions here. So Jason, talk about bat speed, how you think about it during the recruiting process, how a player can best develop, improve their bat speed. I want to add into the bat speed component because Jason might be using both of these. So you have bat speed and then you have exit velocity, which are two separate things. So do you want to talk about what those things mean to you, Adam?
Yeah, I think the bat speed one interests me. Exit, it really does. Because when you go out and you're watching, you're in a clover and there's 4 fields around you and a guy's got some real bat speed, you're like, oh, that's real bat speed. And then you're just drawn to it. Okay. As a college coach, you're looking for bat speed. And sometimes a lot of them are very similar. Okay, where you can't tell with the naked eye. The good ones you can, slow ones, but in the middle, there's a lot of different ways to look at it. I do some stuff with my kids. My 10-year-old, I do some stuff. I'll take for him. He gets a softball bat, a skinny barrel, with 1 roll of athletic tape at the end, and he gets 6 swings with that, 4 with his regular bat, and then he'll go outside the cage and take a long PVC pipe and take 10 swings as fast as he can. Now, what I do is I take a tee out there and raise it high so that he stays level with this swing back and forth. Otherwise, they just get all loopy with it. So I do, and our guys do heavy bat, regular bat, fungo sometimes for a light bat, or something just to PVC, something with the nervous system that's really light that you can swing fast. So I still like that the best. You can go spend money on the heavy bats and that kind of stuff, or usually 1 roll of white athletic tape taped on the end of the bat is about the weight you want.
Yep. Great points, man. Awesome advice. So Marco here. So 2-part question. First, when a hitter is in a slump, what's your approach from both the physical and mental standpoint? I like that, to help them get out of it. What would be your answer on that one?
First off, I go back to what pitches are they swinging at and were they on time? And I think if they're swinging at bad pitches, you'd be like, dude, you can find a video or something, a clip of when they had a really good swing and hit it and put it up there and be like, your swing's the same. We just got to make better decisions. Oh yeah, I can do that. Right. Mentally, you know what? Sometimes I like to just make barrel like highlight tapes. And if a lot of people video them, just take 7 clips of them absolutely hammering the baseball and have them watch them.
I love that,
like,
man.
Oh, that's pretty. Yeah, look at that. Then the little smile comes out. So just watch a barrel sheet, as I call it, or a little highlight reel.
So good, man.
Mentally, that can help you. Like, oh yeah, I can do that.
Yeah,
I've done it. And I think then twofold, if it's not like a swing decision or timing thing, a lot of ways you can go. I don't know what's going on in the swing, but I know one thing, I would start from the ground up with the fix. Like, am I balanced? Am I in the ground? And I would start there and kind of look at what's after that with a swing.
So good, man. Great stuff there. So can you share a story about a player who really struggled in big moments and what helped them turn that corner?
Yeah, I honestly, I think it's all routines. It really is. There's guys that have all of a sudden, you know, you're 0 for 12, right? And you're like, man, I'm coming out of the lineup. That's it. I'm done. It's Sunday. Didn't play well. Didn't hit well on Friday. Didn't hit well on Saturday. I'm coming out. And then you get them Sunday morning and be like, hey, let's go through our routine. Yeah, I think I'm doing this. I'm doing that. No, you're not. Be on time, right? Let's simplify. You know what? I've seen this. What's that person good at? Like he really can attack. Let's sell out. Let's take a chance. You know what? Because he can't get anywhere. He's down in the dump slumping right now. Say, hey, I need you to do something. All we're gonna do is hunt fastballs here, and we're gonna be on time for that. If he throws you 3 breaking balls for strikes and you don't swing and you're back in the dugout, I own that one. That one's on me. I told you to do that. Okay. But I want you to do this, and just take ownership as a coach sometimes and be like, no, this one's going to be on me when they're slumping. Take it off their plate.
Yeah. Interesting, man. Yeah. I like that approach a lot. Eddie has a good question here on the mechanical side. What tools do you use to fine tune a swing?
Man, there's a lot of tools out there nowadays. There's right. Some I like, there's some I don't. You know, the short bat is always a tool we use. We do use some heavy bats. We have more stuff, gadgets, tools. But I think the biggest thing you do for mechanics is create an environment that works on that without you coaching it. Okay, so I'm hitting, and this guy really goes out in rounds and throws his hands out first and then cuts. Okay, I'm going to go open side, angled flip towards his back knee and force him to go this way and stay inside of it. Okay, I don't have to coach. He can see the results. Don't flare it. Don't roll it over. Do it that way. A lot bigger environment type person than I am about a gadget here, a gadget for this, a gadget for that. I think you can create environments to help with mechanics, and then sprinkle in your gadgets. I guess one thing we do, it's not a gadget, but it goes back to ball strike recognition, is we have just a white towel with a wood handle that's broken. We taped it. And there's days it's ball strike, and you have to swing the towel at the strikes and take the balls. Do that because they would get mad when they mishit the strike, even though they made the right swing decision. So let's take that and let's make them feel good. Hey, you made all the right decisions today. Doesn't mean he got a hit on all those, but when he leaves that cage, he felt really good about himself. He's locked in on ball strikes. Now we just hope that it's square and on time.
Yeah. Okay. I like that, man. I like that. So Jason has a good question here. For high school hitters that don't have the benefit of data and advanced scouting reports on the pitchers, can you talk about how you'd coach the hitters' general approach mindset for the different counts? Good question, Jason.
Yeah. You know, in high school guys, that's a great question. I still am. If I had to sell out, I'm still overly aggressive 0-0 and advantage counts with heaters. And in 2 strikes, I'm trying to hit it. I'm a right-handed hitter. I'm trying to see the ball deep to hit it in the other dugout just to be able to handle it. They'll never do it, but I still have that approach of anytime I'm in 2 strikes, I am trying to see it as deep as I can. And when I'm in advantage, I'm not getting jammed. I'm just not. I'm not getting jammed. You know, I think you learn as the game goes, but Let's think about this as a high school, that high school pitcher, everybody's told there and says, come out and get ahead as a pitcher, right?
Yep.
Okay, so be ready from the get-go. And again, it goes back to if you control that zone, right, and everything's yes, 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 no in an advantage count, then you have a chance.
So good, man. Yeah, another thing I'd add in that too, Adam, in talking about that, you, especially at the high school level, you're getting a lot of fastballs early. Like if you had data on this, I mean, it's a large percentage early in the count. The other thing that I don't love about going deep in the counts at the high school level, no offense to the umpires out there, but your strike zones are just not as consistent. So now, like, let's say you do have a good take and it's an inch off the plate, but they call it a strike. You've kind of put yourself in that position. Obviously, the whole at bat has to play out on what you're swinging at. But I'm with you, man. I feel like, you know, if we had data on high school pitching, especially high school pitching, I mean, the data on that would be really heavy fastballs early in the count. So hard to not chase fastballs early and go after those and try to do some damage with those. So
and
good stuff though, Adam. I like your approach.
You gotta ask yourself if they can you honestly think that pitcher's gonna land 3 sliders for strikes? Right? If you don't swing, do you really think he's gonna land 3 of them? In high school, very rarely.
Yeah, it's got to be a pretty good arm.
Yeah, it's got to be a good arm, and you're going to know that going in. And you're probably, if it's a good arm, you probably want to hit that heater instead of that slider anyways.
I was just going to say that. So let's talk about that really quick, because I think Jason's question's awesome, and this is a conversation that we could have a lot of conversation around. But like, if the pitcher you're facing is elite, you can't get deep into counts on that guy. Like, if their secondary stuff is really good. Well, let's talk about that, Adam. Let's hear your thoughts.
Well, what's his pitch count that day?
Well,
we might want to get him as deep as we can. If we can't hit him, we might want to see as many as we can.
Okay. You make a great point, man. You make a great point, buddy. You do make a good point. So if it's a pitch count deal, 100%. If that's your strategy, now you talk patience, but you have to understand too, if it's a pitch count deal, you have to also know that the pitcher doesn't command it that great either.
Yes.
Because if he does command it at an elite level and it's elite stuff, I mean, it's really tough. And so you're probably going to get to the 5th, 6th inning. Let's say he's running out 75 pitches and he's got 25 to go with a couple innings. You're now like working this like middle ground of like probably not going to get there. But I do get your point though, because there is an approach that maybe tries to wear that guy out, especially if he sprays it a little bit. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, and it's different. You know, in college we get 9 innings. In high school, you're going to shorten it to 7. You know, so it is a little bit different. It was funny because we were actually having this conversation today of controlling at bats, like more takes and some of that stuff. So it's really fresh on my head. But we're in there. We're trying to go get this guy too. We're trying to get his heater. It's more of an approach of, hey, if he throws breaking balls for a strike, and we're not swinging, and he throws a bunch of them early, we'll adjust. But if not, let's take those early. Let's be ready. Let's simplify the report, the approach, everything. Let's go get heaters until he proves he can land multiple breaking balls for strikes.
Yep. Good point, man.
And I think if you do that, you're going to get pitch counts up too, because that pitcher wants a strikeout. He's going to throw that breaking ball in the dirt. Watch me rip this, right? Or all of a sudden he hits somebody, and then you get a pass. Then you get a wild pitch. Okay, now we can jump on second. We can do some things. We can start to create havoc versus just sitting up there swinging and being very one-dimensional.
Great point, man. Great point. Completely depends on the opponent, how much information you have on the arm. Like there's a lot of pieces that go into an approach, but I like what you were saying about the aggressive. Essentially, you're looking at 2 different types of approach. You look at the ambush approach where you're going up that way, and then what I call the wait in the bush approach, where you're just going to hang out as long as you can at the plate and try to eat out as many as many pitches as possible. Like, I mean, that's basically the two approaches. But obviously, let's talk about this because I want to hit on this for Jason real quick. When you get in the game, though, let's just say, like you were saying, let's say you're in the wait in the bush approach where it's let him put some guys on, let him hit a guy. That's kind of his thing. He's going to wear out. He's going to have some bad innings. That's all good. Once guys get on, though, let's say you're sending out your best hitter, that approach then might change. So if you're coaching that kid, it might be like, hey, now you're going. Yep. Like we got some balls here, but I think he's coming early. Like, just be ready for that fastball early. Clearly you have to make those sort of adjustments in games where your approach may just flip for like the rest of that 3, 4, 5 in the inning to try to get those runs in. Now, hey, now we're back to our approach, guys. Like, next inning, fresh approach. What are your thoughts on that, Adam?
100%. I think once you get that going and you do get guys on, you have to be able to switch it with individuals. You get that runner on third and the catcher's just okay. He doesn't want to spike that breaking ball anymore, right? And just give you a run. Now I'm going to try and throw that heater and let's go get it.
Yep.
So it has to, the situational dictate it. Man on second, one out, your good hitter up. And we can't go ambush that because he's okay putting him on first.
Yep.
So now we gotta be patient there. Yep. And that's all just different situations as you think of them. The best thing you can do is have a journal and a book and write it, and as it happens, and go back at the end of the year in a spreadsheet and whatever, and be like, put that situation in that little running document and go, okay, these are situations we'll practice in the cage in practice. Instead of just hitting to hit, that this is what we're going to do. Just to kind of quickly, I know, when we set up our stations to hit as a team, one is a challenge station, usually count based, to whatever good pitches off machine. One is, I call it the free space. It could be just flips. It could be nice BP. Let them feel their rhythm and go. The third part has to be some sort of game situation. Okay, could that be a mix? Could that be, hey, this is the approach. We're only hitting fastballs, but I'm mixing in breaking balls. So take that. Yeah, or just any situation like that. So I think when you look at your practice and kind of splitting up just what applies to the game, what applies to a count situation, and then give them the freedom to have a little success in one area.
So good, man. Yeah, that's awesome. I want to wrap. You touched on so many good things there, Jason. To wrap that up too, what I would say is sometimes I would let the hitter, depending on how good the hitter is, like if you have an elite type hitter, I'm probably letting that guy in certain situations do what he does. Like, you just go do you. Yep. We don't need to discuss approach. You handle yourself. We know what we're going to get out of you. I don't need to say a word. No. Just go hit. Like, so sometimes it can be that simple too, where it's like, if with the right guys, don't need to talk a lot, man. Just go do what you do. Like, we know that you're going to be there for us. So good conversation there. So Emilio, so just finished the Mental Keys of Hitting by Harvey Dorfman. Love that book.
Wait a second.
There we go.
Always on my desk.
Oh, there we go.
Great. Great.
So good, man. All right. So any other books apart from that that you like that had have an impact on the hitting side?
Yeah, I think there's a good number of mechanical ones, and I can send you a list of them too. Some of them, let me put them. I guess they're kind of a little bit all over the place right now. Yeah. My favorite one, obviously, is this one.
That's awesome, man.
There's so many good nuggets in there. One of them was instead of grading yourself on did you get a hit, did you not get a hit, were you this? Grade yourself 1 to 10 on how well you saw the ball. Okay, just what look did you get at the ball? right? Okay. No, I saw it really well. Okay. Then we're in a good spot. That ball looked like a marble today, or did it look like a beach ball? But honestly, that book is one of my favorite.
That's a great book, man. That's a great book. Emilio, what I can do is I can get some books from Adam, and I can actually share it. I can share it with everyone in the platform so that we have them. So you have one of mine. This is a little bit, isn't just hitting focus, but I really like the book Mind Gym for an easy read.
Yeah.
That's, it's just for kids too. It's like such simple reading, but it's super effective in getting the point across. That's a basic, simple one. I'll get you Adam's other recommendations.
Yep.
So other question he had here as we kind of wrap up, really good questions tonight. Had a strong season, 15U, both as a varsity and club level. One of the biggest surprises was how well you handle high level pitching. As he's grown, his natural tendency is to keep fine tuning the mechanics. That's a ball guy, fundamentally sound. So, okay, get into the question here. Good question, Emilio. From your experience, does that approach make sense? Are there mental strategies or routines you've seen consistently work well with your hitters? Yeah, what are your thoughts on that? Really good question here too, Emilio.
So start off with the big moments is doing well, right? And that's a big thing. But and you said it right now. Now we're going to chase metrics, okay? And be careful. I like exit velo, rotational numbers, bat speed numbers. They don't mean anything unless the chase rate is high or any of that stuff. So chase better contact is what I'm going to say there. There I can go on the computer to a lot of different websites. We won't name anybody's, but you'll see a guy with 114 exit velo. But guess what? He swung that off a tee uphill, and he can't hit a breaking ball. So be careful chasing exit velocity. And again, when you're 15, you got to let maturity happen a little bit too. And it doesn't happen overnight. The strength and agility is huge. Okay. That component is what's lost when we chase exit velo, rotational numbers. We need to have a good strength and conditioning program. Okay. And that will, and let maturity, if you can handle the bat and you're working really hard in strength and conditioning, you're on the right path.
Oh, that's so good, man. I will say this to you, Emilio, and I've shared this with Emilio before, but metrics matter in all this because those are like your tools that are measured. So like if, for example, as a shortstop, his son's a shortstop. So as an example, like you can't throw 72 across the diamond and think you're going to play Division I shortstop. You can't run a 7.5 60 and think you're going to play shortstop at the Division I level. Like, so some of it, I understand what people are doing, but it's like you said, if you can do it in combination of everything is built to be a better athlete with better movements and working on becoming a better player, hopefully all that comes together. That's kind of what you're saying, right, Adam?
100%. And I think the one thing that gets me is these guys want to go from 7.5 to 6.5 in a year. Very tough to do.
Yep.
Very tough to do. Just consistency, discipline in your workouts is the biggest thing you can do. And that'll ultimately help you get to the number. A lot of us aren't going to get the 6.5s. It's just, sorry, we're not going to get there. I never could, right? So wanted to, but never made it. Tried, okay? But make sure those goals are realistic each year so that they're attainable too. I think it's just, I'm going to throw 95 today. Oh, no, I'm going to do 17 pulled, and then all of a sudden I have a surgery on my arm. Right? Make sure they're attainable, do it the right way, and work. The metrics are important. They do get you in the door. right? And if you throw 72 across the infield and run an 8 flat, usually doesn't go across my desk.
Yep.
So
Right.
they do matter a little bit, but chase them the right way.
Yeah, and I think what you're hitting on here, and I'll say this, speaking on a lot of coaches in the recruiting process, those numbers maybe matter less than some people think, because it becomes about what is the ball player? What can the ball player do? Is this, and I have found, man, a little bit of a swing here on this, where, especially with the velo aspect of it, the shift back has been a little bit, can he command it? What's the K to walk ratio? Like, okay, great, the kid's touching 94s, but his K to walk is like, a negative. I mean, so, I mean, all of that plays into it. So I think, like you were saying, Adam, obviously you're speaking for yourself. I'm trying to speak in regards to everyone. Like, the numbers are important to a point, and then the rest of it is how can you play. So let's get to the next question, which is getting to the showcases, recruiting events. Mark asks, like, should a player adjust approach when at a recruiting event? Should a high on base selective hitter deviate from their typical approach so they can showcase their swing, power, etc.? Or is there a value in a team at bat? That's a great question, Mark.
That's a really good question. Okay. The first thing I always say is, when you're at a showcase event, make sure you're ready for a heater as a hitter, because every pitcher wants to throw their heater, right? Yep. So if my kid was going to a showcase, I would have him on the heater quite a bit. Yeah, I would have the time, because, hey, let's see it. And then, hey, I want you to show the breaking ball, right? So, yeah, I as selfish, and I hate selfish, and I hate not team at bats. But if you're an individual that signed up and they put you on a team, yeah, to me, it's kind of like the minor leagues. You're going to showcase your tool. If that is laying down a bunt and you can run a 3.8 down the line, do it. Like, there is some value to that. If they're stealing a base, yes, what you want to do at a showcase event is showcase yourself, because the teams aren't made up of the same player. You're going to want that runner. You're going to want that big guy that sits back and drives them in. You're going to want that true baseball player that maybe sits in the 5 hole and can really handle the bat and the pressure and just put it in play and get some RBIs. So at a showcase, and it's not a game setting where you're trying to win for your teammates or any of that, be you. Do what you do best is the best thing you can do. Yep.
I'm with you, man. I'm going to add on to that too. Let's just use a shortstop as an example. Let's say you're on a turf field as an example. I was at an event one time watching an elite top 10 player in the country, jogs off the field. And this is a draft event, but he played a deep shortstop. Okay. Deep shortstop. And so I grabbed him when he came off, because I was trying to get an idea of, like, what was the strategy with that. And I said, hey, man, like, why are you playing so deep? He said, I get to show off my arm. Right? Like, and that was his way to get a play deep in the hole to show off what he could do at a draft event. That there's a perfect example. Does he usually play there? No. Nope. But he played back a few steps, and you could tell. It was like it almost was a little obnoxious, but it worked. Yep. Like, and he knew he could make that play. So now he's able to show that off. And everyone's like, wow, did you see where he made that throw? Like, so some of that you kind of have to think about as a player, what you're trying to accomplish, what you're trying to do. But yeah, I'm with you, man. When you get to these events, Mark, I don't want this to sound wrong either, but like, when you go to any sort of showcase event, no coach is expecting you to be there for a team effort. They're expecting you to showcase what you do.
And that step farther, even if you are with your team, now you're on your club team and you want to win and you're playing shortstop, there is no reason why you can't be way back in the hole, almost behind third, throwing across in between innings and showing 100%. Arm strength. Yes, and catchers, throw it as hard as you can. Get your pop time. Like, that's everything they're watching. Outfield, really, really tough to judge. If you can be the guy that throws it in to the guy that was playing catch across the field, throw that thing. Like show that guy in the stands, because we watch a lot of things. You know, how you run on and off, all that. But those are the places that that was a free one. That was a free throw for you to show somebody. Yep.
100%, man. Well, Adam, this has been awesome, man. I appreciate you as a friend. Always good to talk, man. You and I could talk about a lot of this stuff for a long time, but your insight tonight was fantastic, man. Appreciate you as a friend. Appreciate your time. I know you're really busy, and thanks for coming on the podcast, man.
No, anytime. And anybody on here tonight, my email's on the website. If there's a specific question and I can help, like that's what I like to do. Okay. I don't have the right answer, but I'll give you an opinion.
Well, thanks, man. I appreciate your time, Adam. We'll talk soon, buddy. All right.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Yeah. Thanks, everybody.